nowadays Snapchat's just marketing to you women. Basically, you can see you're seeing the hottest women. Not even the ones that are selling themselves, but you know, they're all there. You don't even have to follow them. It's suggesting them.
It's so accessible. The market's incredibly saturated.
And don't confuse for what I'm saying as a complaint. You didn't think I was going that way?
No, of course not. Okay, Navessa Allen, I have some advice for you, free of charge. Next time, just go with Vanessa. I promise, switching random letters around your name isn't cool or edgy, unless you're 11 years old, of course. My second piece of advice is, you'd better not disappoint me after the masterpiece. Yeah, Elijah, I said it, masterpiece. That was Lights Out. In this, Allen's follow-up novel, mob boss Nico Trocky has a decision to make. Does he pursue the girl that he fumbled in high school, the girl that he knows is off limits? Or does he show some self-restraint and go after literally any other woman on planet Earth? Story would be over if he did, right? As for the girl, Lauren Marchetti, she has to decide whether she's going to let the guy that broke her heart break it again, or if she's going to do the smart thing and choose herself. As Lauren says, he's a walking red flag. Good thing red is my favourite colour. It's the most disgraceful thing I've heard a character say.
What was I going to say? Yeah, so this book was the deciding factor for us to know whether Navessa Allen is a good writer or she's a one-trick pony.
And now we know.
And now we know.
And you know what we know.
Pony.
Exactly, thank you. I was really disappointed. I was rooting for you. I was actually rooting for you because Lights Out, I enjoyed it. Yeah. I was rooting for you.
Yeah, exactly. You just...
You had our attention.
I thought this book was largely boring.
Yeah.
Largely boring. It was just like, how do you make something like this boring? And it's funny because in certain aspects, she did take our advice in this book. Certain aspects.
But she
took certain of our aspects and removed some of the other stuff that she put in the book, which made the book successful. I should have read some reviews to see what other people were saying about this book.
Yeah.
I think I might have done.
Who's that artist that releases one song and it blows big, and the second one you're like, nah, no.
Oh, there's loads of those.
Yeah, I just can't. They don't come to. That's perfect. That is actually perfect.
One-trick pony, boy.
One-trick pony.
Wait, how did I told you I got. Oh, I got 4.
I got 4 as well.
All right. Well, in that case, I'll go first. This book makes a clear effort to appear politically correct by promoting the idea that sex work is morally upright and a highly respected profession. But let's be honest, it's not portraying empowered independent women. It's depicting broken, damaged characters using the only method they know how to survive, targeting lonely, socially invisible men who feel that their only chance at intimacy is to pay for it. The real issue here is the dishonesty. When an author adopts values just to seem politically acceptable, the cracks eventually show, and anybody paying attention can see it for what it is, a performance. The author is a liar. After Junior had finished pleasuring himself to completion with Lauren's new material, the book reads, I was done fucking around on the internet like some weirdo. Oh yes, post-nut clarity at its finest. We've all been there. But wait, listen again. I was done fucking around on the internet like some weirdo. Hold on, that's hypocritical, isn't it? Either consuming sex worker content is empowering and wholesome, or it's creepy and shameful. You can't have it both ways.
Definitely.
The book tries to paint Lauren's OnlyFans as her warm, loving community, one that supports her emotionally and finally, that values her for who she is. But let's be real. If Lauren weighed 300 pounds and looked like Warlock the Destroyer, we think anybody would give a single fuck about her personality?
I don't think anyone does anyway on a OnlyFans. I'm gonna be real, because like, who's the clients on OnlyFans? It's not gonna be, it's not like a YouTube fan base here or like a TikTok fan base or anything. I
wouldn't know.
People want to get off.
The whole premise of this alpha male who could have any woman but chooses a sex worker was flawed from the start. I could buy into a redemption arc, some guy falling for a woman who wants out of the industry, but this, a woman proudly doing OnlyFans and says she will do it at least until she's 50, and he's like, yeah, that's the one.
That's the one I want.
What exactly do you tell your future children or grandchildren when their classmates find your mum's content online for $7.99? So here's the question. Do we give the author credit for trying something bold, or do we just call it for what it is? A ridiculous, tone-deaf idea that should have never made it past the draft stage.
Second one. And without hesitation.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
There's got to be some credit for her trying something different. Surely. I don't know.
Whatever credit she got in trying, she squandered. She squandered with the execution of it. It is what it is.
Because I just
she
don't
found
think
£5
this
and lost 20. Like
I don't
she
think
just
this
didn't make any
idea
money.
works. That was what I said to you recently.
Well, you
didn't I?
said this, yeah. I think that's probably why it was in my brain.
I think the idea of willing sex worker who loves it, is not compatible with the alpha male guy who loves her. And
Yeah,
it's not compatible for a romance story, in my opinion.
Because no one's picking them.
Not that guy. Not that guy.
Not Tyrone.
Yeah. Not that guy. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's Adam 22 that they need to have in there, innit?
Maybe they're just trying to. Maybe she's doing her absolute best to try and change the narrative or something like that. But if you want to change the narrative, no, it's not gonna work.
Listen, I just know how. If it's me, you got OnlyFans, we're gonna be only friends.
Oh gosh.
Junior is Ali's cousin from Lights Out. I was interested to see how this book was going to tie into that one, and maybe we can get a cameo scene from Ali or something else to better bridge the books together. This is meant to be a sequel after all. In fact, I'm surprised that there are totally new characters across the board. I was hoping we might get to enjoy a sequel the traditional way for once. So I was actually wanting to see...
You're not going to... This is romance. When romance, you know, they try and bring out these trilogies, you know, Leather and Lark. And all that. They want to bring other characters in and then they can make it into something. It's money.
Trying to get this Marvel Cinematic Universe cocktail of characters.
Exactly
basically all the same couples as well.
Yeah, the same people. Yeah, exactly.
They're just different names.
We do love a traumatic backstory for our main character. It's something that I think every character in every book should have. It's a simple and creative way of individualizing your main character. Lauren and Junior were high school sweethearts. They lost their virginity together, and Lauren wrote about it all in her diary. Lauren's so-called best friend at the time...
Flashback dressed up. I've seen that all before.
Yeah. Lauren's so-called best friend at the time stole her diary and made photocopies, handing them out to the whole school. Women are horrible to each other.
Jesus.
Men would never do that.
Would only punch each other up.
Yeah, character defamation is known to be a woman's weapon against each other. So yeah, Lauren got exposed as a whore. And to make it worse, when Junior was confronted about the diary by his classmates, he denied that any of it ever happened. Lauren said that Junior made her seem like some psycho-obsessed girl. And then I also commend the author on how she finished the story by having Lauren's roommates butt into the story saying, girl, you need to get laid. Let's fix that for you. So that was a nice transition to the story. And obviously that sets Lauren up to go out and bump into Junior. So I suppose this story was a little bit different in the sense that things are usually led by fate. And in this story, it was engineered by Junior. So for example, he put a tracking device on Lauren and stalked her. Usually in the book, the fated couple meet up by chance, which normally scores a successful eye roll from me. So at least this was a little bit different in that respect. Junior was the one controlling things, you know, stalking her, following her, literally followed her to her little club and whatever like that. So it was a bit different in that respect. It wasn't fate. You know, he stalked her from when she was young on her OnlyFans or whatever.
So maybe it was fate.
No, well, no, not really, because I think they bumped into each other at the church. I don't know, but yeah, it was less fate driven and more stalker vibes. My favourite.
Yeah, I suppose. But then so was the first one, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because it was like she saw his content online or whatever it was, which is reasonably chance-based encounter.
No, but they bumped into each other because they was fucking, you know, Ali was fucking Josh's friend, and then...
Oh, yeah, and that was his mate, innit? Yeah, I forgot about that. It is mind-blowing to me that somewhere women are getting off to this stuff. The tropes are so anti-woman, it's insane. Navessa Allen points and laughs at silly ideas like consent, arguably as much as she did for Lights Out. I can't really say I was expecting anything different. In Caught Up, Lauren is a sex worker and Junior is stalking her online, paying for her content without her knowing that it's him. This raises an interesting philosophical question for me. Should sex workers be able to prevent certain people from purchasing their content? Sure, if you're being harassed or threatened, that's a no-brainer. But let's say, for example, a girl starts an OnlyFans and her male friend subscribes, but she doesn't want him to see her naked. Should she be able to stop him subscribing to her content? Or is the mere fact that she's posted it to a literal global network of media consenting to the fact that people will see it and she will not know or control who? In any case, with every copy of Lights Out or Caught Up that Navessa Allen sells, I'm convinced she sets women back another year. The amount of... It's... yeah, no. It's the stalking, you know, the consent. It's like... consent doesn't exist. It's not a real thing in this universe.
It would definitely be interesting to speak to somebody who... a woman who is turned on or loves this type of story, because it is strange. Because we could say things, but we could get cancelled for them. But when we're asking her, do you like being stalked? Or, do you know, why is stalking hot? You know, why is, you know, we can really get into it.
Well, they say everything's about sex except sex, which is about power. So, which I think is a pretty good quote. Should have saved that. Yeah, should have saved that. Is that better than one you got?
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not. Lauren's grandmother actually said to her, "My biggest regret was that I wasn't a skank when I was younger. I married young, one penis for 50 years. Think about it. Be a skank while you can."
You got more than that.
And that's supposed to be loving advice. What she's really saying is, don't respect your time, your energy, your body. Just chase every lust-driven impulse. Surround yourself with people who do the same. Live fast and don't think twice and hope for the best.
Sounds like good advice to me.
What kind of future are you really building on
Amen.
that? What good ever comes from a life driven by hedonism and short-term gratification?
Yeah, hedonism leads to destruction only.
Let's pause and consider this. If the grandma's biggest regret in her life is that she wasn't a skank, then that means she had a phenomenal life. That's not a tragedy. 100%. That's success. It probably is because she made wise choices, like not being a skank.
100%.
So if Lauren actually follows this advice, she chooses the fun and fast life that her grandma missed out on, it won't lead to freedom, it will lead to deeper regret. The regret that you carry in silence when you're older and realize you gave all your value away for nothing. So in other words, the grandma didn't miss out, she dodged a bullet.
Dodged a bazooka.
Do you think any young impressionable minds will actually took the grandma's advice as good advice? Do you think they went, "Oh, you good girl"?
Yeah, of course. Like when you dress bad advice up in a pretty package, you know, it's Trojan horse.
I think this ties into what you said when you said this author's trying to set women back more.
Yeah,
because imagine
no,
young girls read that and say,
yeah.
"Oh, I'm gonna be a skank now, and then when I'm older."
Yeah, look, it's tough. It's tough.
Crazy.
It's tough for them. I imagine it's tough for them from their perspective because imagine what it's like being a woman growing up. Just the period of human history that we've just had, like 20th century up until now. Obviously, them being able to be sexually promiscuous, that's never been a thing. So obviously, they're going to see that as a sort of freedom.
Not in public, anyway. Yeah.
Not in public, and they've been shamed and slandered for it every step of the way, even sometimes when they weren't even doing it.
Yeah.
So for us, it's tougher for men to actually do it, but we've been praised for it. It's not going to be seen as freedom to us. It's going to be seen as, we just have different views on sex. We have different opinions on it. There's different expectations. Obviously, people will come up with their own analogies, but I imagine it must be tough for them to not see it as a sort of freedom.
So do you think that would be good advice to a man then? Be a skank while you can.
No, because there'll be time for that. There'll be time for that. That's why I said there's different, you know.
Oh gosh, there's always time for that.
Work now. Literally work now. Trust me. If you do the work now, you'll be reaping the rewards. Being a sex worker isn't just Lauren's job, it's her life. I get that this is meant to be a steamy read and that sex is obviously going to play a big part in the plot. But at the same time, I was hoping for a realistic depiction of sex work. Not that I'm an expert or anything. But I don't think sex workers are these sex manic machines that were born for this. Everything from Lauren's job to her friendships, even her conversations with her granny, are all hyper-focused around doing the dirty. She's barely a character at this point. If I want to flood my brain with sex, I'll just watch porn. This is meant to be literature, and the story should always come first. So it's like you said, I don't think it was a realistic depiction of sex work whatsoever, in the sense that when I read the reviews, a lot of people were like, yes, it was so sex worker positive, that's what I love, I'm glad that she did the... And
as well, one thing is, there's nothing wrong with it. Well, what I would say is she's highlighting one aspect of sex work that is probably a small percentage of extremely hot women have that sort of access, that sort of community that pay her to do things. And that's probably the best of the best situation scenario that you could be in if you're going to do sex work. But for the vast majority of people, you're going to have quite a few bad experiences, and at the very least, if you try and set up a sort of community like that, you can find that you don't have any income, which is a hit to your self-esteem. Because I know girls, when the OnlyFans thing started, I know girls on my Snap that started, they put their link in their bio, private story,
sell their feet pics.
Then not even that, all over the thing. They tried to sell it all, and then sooner or later they were back in their jobs, doing things. I have more worth than that. No, love, you just weren't getting any money for it.
Yeah, you cast your net and it came out with no fish, bro. But you know what's interesting is that I had this discussion with somebody the other day, because this guy was like, "Oh, I can't believe in this world, women could just post their feet pics and make millions." I was like, well, they can't though. It's the top 1%, the ones who are putting in the actual. Yeah. It's like any content creation. It's literally this exact same thing. Because like, if you think back from a consumer, do I want to pay $7.99 for some grainy feet pics, or do I want the top spec shit? Yeah. Which is going to be, because like, and also Becky from down the road is going to be like, oh, let me charge $9.99, and the top 1% is going to be like, oh, mine's $3.99 because I've got 3 million subscribers. Yeah. So I'm paying less per customer.
It is tricky. It's difficult for women if you're not that top 1%. Yeah. Because on 100%. Snapchat, nowadays Snapchat's just marketing to you women. Basically, you can see you're seeing the hottest women. Not even the ones that are selling themselves, but they're all there. You don't even have to follow them. It's suggesting them.
It's so accessible. The market's incredibly saturated.
And don't confuse for what I'm saying as a complaint. You didn't think I was going that way?
No, of course not.
All in all, this sequel is a better book than the first one. It actually improves on pretty much every issue we had last time. The plot's tighter. The characters feel more grounded, especially the male leads, who finally seem to have actual jobs. I don't know if you remember, Joseph, in the last book we had Josh, the son of a serial killer and apparently a master hacker, and we saw none of this on the page. Zero hacking, just vibes. But in this one, the author course corrects. There's more substance, but there's a trade-off. She's dialed back on the dirty, filthy sex. The main reason we're all here in the first place, let's be honest.
I marked it down for that.
The best she could give us, sex in a church. I mean, sure, that's bold, but come on. That's something, given the chance, we'd all do, right? Letting it loose in the confession box. Look, if you're going to tone down the plot and tone down the porn, then what are we doing here? This isn't Bible study. Give the people what they want. 100%. So all in all, I'd say that the author has clearly missed the mark on this book. And unfortunately, I can't even say that it's better than the first. And that's the whole bloody point of a sequel. So it's a better book. It's in terms of it has all the components. Or for a story.
Which one would you rather read again?
Well, the first one. The first one was more exciting and spicy. But this one, it was just a bit stalky and creepy and boring, and he was. And also, we had the conflicting views on sex work. Is it this good thing? Is it this creepy thing? Yeah, it was all over the place. I think she was trying to do it too much.
She tried to do politics.
She's trying to do it all. So I personally wouldn't recommend it, and I think we can see what type of author she is. Nothing special. So yeah, what do you think out of 5?
Oh no, I got one more. We'll do that after this. Not really a fan of this one, but I'm also not surprised. Sometimes you see a movie that is clearly meant to never have a sequel. A Kingsman, a Hancock, a Finding Nemo. And that's okay. It works well by itself. There is no need to force it, Navessa, because that's what you're doing now. You're forcing it. It felt forced is the word I would use. This felt like a forced book.
Look, I don't even know if we can mark her down for that. Purely for the fact that when it's making money, the editors say, write the second book.
Well, they can't mark it on anyone we've ever done on this channel.
You can mark them down. I don't think you can
mark many bestsellers, man.
I don't think you can mark someone down for writing a sequel that shouldn't have been.
Why not?
Because they got bills to pay.
Oh yeah. I don't care. What the hell? That's like saying you can't. Oh, she works on OnlyFans. You can't say if she's got bills to pay. Yeah, I can. You just loads of ways to make money. Write a good book.
Yeah, you can mark them down for not writing a good book, but you can't say, oh, you shouldn't have wrote the sequel.
She should have wrote her first book that needed a sequel. Then wrote a good sequel. I'm not letting this go.
Okay, cool. So you, out of 5, and would you recommend the book?
I wouldn't recommend it. And I'm gonna give it a 2. I'm gonna be generous. Give it a 2. And
you give this the same as the what we just read.
Well, that was a short story. This is why the 5-star system is very flawed.
You give this the same as Watch Me.
Death Row. Did I say 2 out of 5 for Watch Me?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes. I've just edited the video. You said 2, and I was trying to. No.
What is it?
I'm pretty sure you said. trying to say, think you said one or two.
I don't think I said one.
But yeah, no, I thought this book was rubbish.
I wanted to say one. I wanted to say one, but I just felt like just because of the debate that people can get into over the whole sex worker thing, I think there's something there.
No one's getting into the debate over that.
Well, I mean, it's a very prevalent debate.
No one's getting into it.
Loads of people talk about it.
No one who picks this book is getting into it. You didn't pick this book because you got a political
No, I didn't
view.
know it was going to be in there. You picked it. You picked it. I just show up, man.
Yourself
I
of
just show up,
responsibility.
absolutely, man. In true woman fashion. I just show up, man, and read the books. That's it.
Fair enough.
All right, should we do quotes?
Go
Wait,
then.
what did you think, by the way? You said...
Oh, well, I have one. And
okay.
yeah, I think you're lucky to get one. You know what? I couldn't tell you one good thing about this book.
Oh, man.
I couldn't tell you one. Do you know, as I read the book, my mouth just got wider and wider in shock. You know, when Junior brought his girl to the family dinner and he said, oh, she's a sex worker, and the dad was like, you brought a prostitute around here. And she said, oh, if you pay for my content, you can see how much of a slut I really am. She said that around the dinner table to the dad. Are you crazy? And
man, he said you brought a fucking jezzy in my house. No, the disappointment. You can literally feel the disappointment in it. He was like, you are no son of mine.
Yeah, get out.
Take your whore with you.
Crazy. What do? You can't spark your dad. He's talking to...
Might have to spark his son.
He spark himself. Yeah.
The two of them get out because he clearly didn't raise her.
Crazy. But that's not a rebuttal. If you pay for my content, I can show you how much of a skank I really am.
No, that's a disgraceful attempt at a rebuttal. What the hell? Who let her cook?
Jesus Christ.
It's a
time and place. It's a time and place, not to the dad. Because if your dad bought the content, is that what you'd want?
Saying. Like,
if your own father bought your content, is that what you'd want?
Come on, man. This is why I have like these reservations about like how legitimate this whole positive sex work thing is. Because I heard this great quote, which I'm going to waste rather than use it for quote of the day. Somebody said, if sex is work, then rape is theft. And I said, that's a bomb right there. That's a bomb.
Crazy.
That kind of disproves the whole...
Yeah, that's crazy.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, they don't want their boyfriend's dad buying their content, so clearly this is not as innocent.
Their siblings,
clearly
their children.
This is not as innocent and positive as you would have us believe.
Yeah. Quote of the day. Someone sitting in the shade today. Butchered that. Quote of the day. Someone is sitting in the shade today because somebody planted a tree a long time ago.
Yeah, that's nice. That's good.
I thought he was going to say, what does that mean?
No, it's very clear what it means. Generational wealth. You know, do the work, reap the rewards later.
Not just that, but everything you have today is owed to somebody who's done something for you. We can't always make the connection of... This is actually an argument for communism over capitalism, because capitalism, you'll start a business and you own everything, you make the profits. But communism says, yeah, you might have planted the tree, or you might have grown the fruits, but somebody planted the tree. So that should go back to, you know, everybody is collective, basically.
Fair enough. Quote of the day. People say nothing is impossible, but I do nothing every day.
That was rubbish.
What are you talking about?
That was rubbish.
No, it's not
I know
rubbish.
you thought it was funny.
I still think it's funny. Let me cook. Let me cook.
Bro, take the apron off. You're not cooking.
Can't close the kitchen if I'm still cooking. What's it called? The bare settings.
Funny.
The bare settings.
I think you're really entertained by these comedic quotes or whatnot.
Well, listen, it's because you're not funny, so I have to provide my own source of entertainment.
Oh, okay, thank you for that. All right, just roll on again.
Until next time.
Till next time.